In my life, I even lost all my technical playing abilities once. In any case, thanks to Argentine Tango, I'm now here where I am. I hope this video could encourage some of you. Hello, I'm Nao Sogabe. First, I'd like to thank you for your support and positive comments. They are always encouraging and motivate me to continue my work. And I also receive many comments like, "What a talent! Thank you for sharing your gift," and so on. I'm truly grateful for them, but these are comments where I often don't know how to respond except with thank you. And what is talent anyway? Does talent mean that one carries this ability in their DNA and can achieve outstanding results effortlessly, for example? If that's what talent is supposed to be, then I don't have it. In my life, I even lost all my technical playing abilities once. Today I'm going to talk about the hardest time in my life and how I managed to get from there to where I am now, and how important the ability of metacognition is. Metacognition is the ability to perceive yourself objectively. And I will also talk about how Argentine Tango helped me during my rehabilitation. I hope this video could encourage some of you. Grab a coffee or tea, get comfortable, and let's get started. I had finished my studies. I already had concert engagements. I even had a few students. Things didn't look bad for a musician with such a niche instrument. Then, one day, out of the blue, it happened. The world started spinning, like when you spin yourself around 10 times. Normally it stops after a few moments. But for me, it didn't stop. Not after an hour, not even the next day. After a few weeks, it became somewhat lighter, but the severe vertigo remained. I had to accept that I had lost my sense of balance. As you can imagine, all the symptoms associated with vertigo followed, nausea and so on. What I didn't know was this. When you lose your sense of balance, you also lose your spatial awareness. You can't gauge the distance to a cup sitting right in front of you. And you can't know exactly where your hands and fingers are. When you try to grab the cup, your hands just knocks it over. Playing musical instrument was no longer possible. I couldn't tell where to place my fingers. Before losing my sense of balance, I could play the most challenging pieces by John Dowland or Sylvius Leopold Weiss. Now I couldn't even play the simplest melodies. I endured this worst phase for 2 years. Today I won't mention anything about the oud, but please don't be surprised. I only started with the oud after this event. That's why the oud doesn't appear in this video. I talked about the similarities between the lute and the oud in a video. You can find the link in the video description. Then, my current doctor found the cause of the disorder. Luckily, my semicircular canals were still intact. But the nerve pathway to the brain was damaged. I underwent several hours of physiotherapy rehab training per day. Gradually, I was able to rebuild my sense of balance. But I still struggled to walk straight. When I walked, the incorrect signal from my sense of balance pulled me to the right. I had to consciously try to walk slightly to the left in order to move forward. One day I read about the dance of Argentine Tango. I've always liked tango music. Tango is said to be a very complex dance. I also read that you need a good sense of balance to be able to dance the tango. After some consideration, I decided to give tango a try. Since the other participants in the class were also struggling with the tango techniques, no one really noticed me, even though I was quite wobbly. Tango is an art form that expresses the beauty of posture and movement. It's a truly complex dance, and you need body awareness in every part of your body. It was exactly this complexity that helped me rebuild my sense of balance. Through the physiotherapy and especially through tango, I was able to almost fully restore my sense of balance. Now, I actually have a better sense of balance than I had before the illness. During my rehabilitation, I also began playing the lute again. I had to relearn everything from scratch. Every finger position of both hands on the strings I had to learn anew. Gradually I regained control of the instrument, and now I play it as you hear in my videos. But back then, it was written in the stars whether I would be able to play well again. That's why I considered plan B in case I couldn't fully restore my sense of balance and could no longer play the lute well. It's always advantageous to have a plan B rather than putting all your eggs in one basket. At that time, I only played classical works. As long as I stick to classical music, I absolutely need good playing technique. I originally come from the rock music field and was interested in playing new music again. That's why I learned composition techniques and music production techniques. I thought about producing new music with the help of digital sound processing. In the end, I was able to fully restore my playing technique. However, it was very important that I could gather a lot of information in that situation. Today, I can fully utilize all the knowledge I gained back then. The fact that I can now compose relatively quickly and produce music efficiently is thanks to this knowledge. So I can only recommend always having a plan B, or in other words, being flexible in life. In the end, the entire process took 9 years of my life. In any case, thanks to Argentine Tango, I'm now here where I am. If you are looking for an activity to support your physical and mental health, I'd like to recommend Argentine Tango. So far, I've also recommended practices like mindfulness meditation or Buddhist meditation. And I would say that tango is a mindfulness exercise in complex movement with music. Tango isn't easy to learn, but precisely because of its complexity, it strengthens the connection between body and mind. The posture and movement of tango are ergonomic and do not strain the body. When looking for tango classes, please make sure they teach authentic Argentine tango. Of course, it must be Argentine tango and not ballroom tango. These are two completely different dances. Ballroom tango is not ergonomic and places strain on your body. Even among Argentine tango classes, be cautious to ensure the course truly teaches authentic Argentine tango. Unfortunately, in Western countries, there are more and more Argentine tango classes teaching basic steps, often referred to as the base. But Argentine tango does not have a basic step like other partner dances. This pseudo-tango with basic step may be easy to learn, but it doesn't benefit your health. And it's also less enjoyable. In authentic tango, we communicate through movement, and in this way we create every step and expression. This non-verbal communication is incredibly fun. Argentine tango has been part of UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity since 2009. It's a highly developed art form, and I believe we should treat it with respect. Let me briefly explain why so many people find tango beautiful. When tango emerged, there was a large wave of migration to Argentina from many countries. When these people danced together in the evenings, they initially just danced their own traditional dances. But gradually they combined their dances with those of others. In this manner, tango came into being. This means that tango is a mixture of different dances from various cultures. Because tango contains so many elements from different cultures, many people perceive it as beautiful even if they come from diverse origins. In the truest sense of the word, tango is a cultural heritage of humanity. I also have a website about Tango Argentino. There you can find more information about Argentine Tango. You can find the link in the video description. There are various styles in Argentine Tango. The most widespread style is called Tango de Salon, and I would also recommend this style to you. Tango de Salon includes both aesthetic elements and ergonomics in a good balance. Tango Nuevo or Neo-Tango is the more modern style with more dynamic elements. I like to dance in the Neo-Tango style. However, this style requires the techniques of Tango de Salon as a foundation. So, start with Tango de Salon first. Since the 1990s, there has also been the Milonguero style, which features an extremely close embrace with quite few movements. Our chests are practically pressed together. Because of this sensual characteristic, there are scenes of this style in the big cities. But from a health and artistic perspective, it doesn't play a significant role. You need a lot of perseverance to learn Argentine tango, but the joy it brings is also exceptional. And if you are good at metacognition, you can learn tango more easily. Metacognition is the ability to observe yourself objectively. This allows you to control and improve your posture and movements. And since we are on the topic of metacognition, I'd like to return to the idea of talent. As I've shared today, I don't have the ability to play this music effortlessly. This is the result of 30 years of hard work. However, I want to respect the listeners who compliment me on my gift. I do have some advantageous innate traits, like these long, slender fingers. But the most important thing for a musician, musical expression, is simply the result of a lot of effort. Through meditation and mental work, I learned to connect musical elements with emotions. Only in this way can you perform with expression in every piece you play or sing. For this, you need excellent metacognitive skills. You need to be able to perform while simultaneously observing the entire process, ensuring you stay in control. This is something I recommend to all musicians. Many musicians claim if you play or sing in full emotion, it will naturally connect with the audience. That's an illusion, it doesn't work that way. The audience might be impressed by your exaggerated facial expression or movements, but musically, you won't reach them that way. If I do have any kind of gift, perhaps it's the ability to endure hardship in life. Of course, many people also have this gift. In any case, I have had good fine motor skills since I was a child. You might wonder what fine motor skills have to do with enduring life's challenges. The precise perception of one's own movement is a metacognitive ability. This metacognitive ability can also be applied to other experiences. For example, in a life crisis, you can analyze the situation objectively and search for solutions without being overwhelmed by panic or similar emotions. This is a great advantage in life. A common method for strengthening metacognitive skills is mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation originates from Buddhist Vipassana meditation. I've also made a video about Vipassana meditation. You will find the link in the video description. Or you can learn Argentine Tango. This will also improve your metacognitive skills. See you in the next video. じゃあね。